River.
Hi, welcome back. Today we're sitting in the forest. The sun is about to set. Um, so yeah, okay. First off, I got you some tea. Put this over there.
Hello.
So,
Hi.
what are we talking about today?
Mood swings.
Mood swings. That's an interesting one.
Very one. Yeah. Very one. Okay. So, what are mood swings?
What are mood swings? How I would describe them? I guess just changing the mood. The mood can change between, I guess, happy to sad to angry to just a lot of different things in a amount of time. I guess
Yeah.
you would
Yeah.
explain. Yeah.
Basically, it says it in the name. It's your mood shifts from one mood to another.
Yeah, exactly.
That's basically it.
And it's something that I guess curious when you hit puberty. I guess it's when teenagers go through a lot.
Right.
So
Are you just being dramatic? Yeah.
teenagers are called dramatic a lot of the time.
Yes. But I don't think that's fair
No,
because they're going through a hell of a lot
they
of
are.
changes.
They are.
They're trying to navigate the social norms of life, of society, and then while also simultaneously trying to figure out how their body works,
And who you are, you know.
who you are,
Everything
even
at once.
identity. And then it's like people are like they tend to forget that they once were,
Teenagers,
young adults,
Yeah.
teenagers themselves.
And how hard it actually was. So
Yeah, and then they're like, yeah. In my time, we just had to put up with it,
yeah,
grow a backbone.
yeah. Everyone gets a little sad and angry at some times. You know, just push through it.
Oh.
It gets
Yeah.
really sick of hearing that. So
No, it's very frustrating
yeah,
for sure because it's invalidating, you know. Adults are no, this is too negative. I'm sorry. Let's just move on to the next
Yeah.
question. I have. A
what
question
were you
for
gonna say? Tell me. It's welcome you.
You sure?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Well, I've noticed that adults tend to say you have to come to us if if you're struggling with something.
Yeah.
But the moment you do, you get belittled, you get invalidated, you get
Yeah.
called a little. Well,
Yeah, well, that's our experience. I think a lot of teenagers go through that though.
yes,
Yeah,
and that's
I do
pretty
recognize that.
frustrating. Yeah. So, but yeah. In what intensity do they occur?
Okay, so you
According
have
to you?
puberty mood swings, I guess. That happen because you're in mood swings and
Yeah.
because you're going through a lot of changes. So teenagers are called moody and irritable and whatever.
Just straight up angsty teenagers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I guess that those mood swings will last, I don't know, to the end of puberty, maybe young adult stages.
Yeah.
And then you have other types of mood swings, example we have bipolar, and they will last your moods can last for like weeks or
Couple of
months
weeks, yeah.
of feeling really depressed or feeling really,
Manic.
euphoric, manic.
Yeah. Sure.
And what we experience is that our mood swings, we deal with them every day, and they'll change really fast and in great intensity. And not just the intensity of sad or anxious or angry. And I still think those are things people should be seen for because it's still hard to go through mood swings.
Sure.
But with our mood swings, it's an intensity that I would call a little bit more severe, to the point where we can get really euphoric, feel like we can take on the entire world, and which can get us in weird situations, I guess.
For sure.
But also, it can change to feeling suicidal and feeling like there's no point in even living anymore.
Definitely, yeah.
And that can occur on a day, just up and down. So in just a few minutes, it can change.
It's bizarre how quickly it changes. I agree. It's most people describe mood swings as, oh, now she's sad and now she's happy.
Yeah.
Like, it's quite
so
a
it can't
small,
be that bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But for people like, well, us, we tend to shift moods from totally euphoric to severely depressed and suicidal to, I don't know, great sadness. and then shift to anger,
Yeah.
and not just normal anger, rage.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's important to note
Yeah.
because
There's a difference between mood swings, and some people
yeah,
don't see that. So
exactly.
I'll say like, yeah, I deal with mood swings, and people will assume that it's just going up and down a bit.
Yeah.
Like I guess everyone experiences sometimes. Or teenagers, people will like, oh, but you're just a teenager, just the phase in your
Ugh,
life you
you're
get
just being
mood swings.
dramatic.
But I don't think it should be a normal thing to have mood swings where you go from feeling really euphoric to feeling really suicidal
No, I
multiple times a day.
agree. No,
I don't think
for
that's
sure.
normal. If
No.
it's normal, it should not be normal. It should be talked
It
about more.
shouldn't be. Yeah, I agree.
So yeah,
Definitely. No, I don't think that's normal either.
no.
How long do they last for you? Can they last?
Can we last? So for me, it depends. I guess it can last sometimes just only a few minutes. Just you just got a thought in your head, and you're suddenly really happy, or suddenly you really just, oh my god, I just don't want to do this
Anxious,
anymore.
yeah.
It just get really triggered. But that can also just change in a few minutes again. So it can last up to minutes. It can also last weeks. Most of my moods are in between that. So from a few minutes to a few weeks.
Right.
Months, barely, actually. So yeah, what would you say?
Sometimes I've got days where my mood switches like 10 times.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get a grip on that.
Yeah.
Especially when people ask you how you're feeling, and it's like, I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
I know I'm happy right now, but in a few minutes I can come back to you and say I'm suicidal.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
And that's actually how it is.
Exactly.
So it
exactly. And that's very
yeah.
hard for people who don't experience it to understand.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's like, how can you switch so quickly between those moods?
Yeah, what can happen in those minutes?
Exactly.
It's so extreme.
Exactly.
Multiple times a day,
It's our mind.
Yeah. So it's not something situational that's happening around us necessarily.
Yeah.
Like how, other people might experience it
I
or
agree.
would explain mood swings. For us, it's something that happens internally.
Yeah.
So with our thoughts or whatever.
No, I agree. And I'd say I haven't really answered your question yet. They can last from a couple of hours, well, a couple of minutes to a couple of days. I usually don't experience them for weeks at a time.
Yep.
It shifts pretty quickly. But I think that's different from being in a depressive episode.
Yeah.
So
I think what we do experience sometimes is, well, at least I experience is having emotional shutdowns. So then you start feeling not at all, really. So the mood swings will be less, care. And those can last for a few weeks.
Yes.
So then the mood swings will also settle down a bit, and you won't really experience mood swings.
Agreed.
And that's,
it's like an emotional shutdown. Yeah.
So that's also a different thing that comes along.
But is that a mood swing?
I guess not. I thought it might be, but I think it is something else. In a way.
Yeah, I think it's partly that you're feeling too much.
Yeah.
Like your brain's like, yeah, no, let's not do this.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's how
we're
it goes.
shutdown mode. Okay, don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree.
So, what for you triggers mood swings? And are they always trigger related, would you say?
I like the last part because so many people assume, and rightfully so, that there's a trigger behind a mood swing. But the thing is, I experience mood swings and they can come out of nothing. Sometimes it just happens. Like, there's nothing going on. I could be perfectly happy. I have a very good example. A month ago or so, I had to write a document, a grade long report for a school project with a few classmates of mine. Now, some stuff went wrong, and don't get me wrong, I loved it. Like, I thrived on that shit. Oops. And I managed to finish it in time. With the help of one other teammate, we got it done. I was feeling euphoric as all hell. And I still needed to get back to Leiden because I was finishing it up in Zeist, where my brother lives, and had to get back to Leiden because I had school the next day. So what did I do? I went feeling amazing because I'd just done something pretty big. I'd saved the entire group project basically. Went to the bus, had a song on repeat that got me in a good mood, and then suddenly after half an hour, I wanted to kill myself,
Yeah.
and I was like, "What is going on?"
Just hit you.
Exactly,
Just
it's like this switch
Yeah.
flips, and it's like, I don't want to live no more. This sucks.
Yeah.
And I was like, why does this happen? You know, it's like, where's the cause? Nobody sent me a nasty text. Nobody, I don't know, bothered me on the bus. There's nothing going on. And yet I switched from feeling euphoric to suicidal. And I had no idea why. And that's the thing. Sometimes there is no cause. Sometimes there is no trigger.
Yeah.
Which is difficult to accept sometimes.
Yeah.
Because that means you don't have control. At least partly, because some triggers you can avoid or minimize. There are triggers, certainly, and that was your original question, of course. And that's when I feel like I'm being rejected or abandoned. Doesn't matter if it's real or not. If it's something I think I perceive, I switch.
Yeah.
And then I can go from all sorts of moods. It happens more frequently and more intensely with when I have an FP. We talked about this a little bit last week, and yeah, let's see. I'd say if I get stuck in my room and I get bored, that's when the dark thought can come in, and then I can certainly switch up from moods like a roller coaster. But yeah, what are your triggers?
So I guess for you, it's a lot people related, I guess, and also the boredom related.
Yeah, definitely.
I
Agreed.
think I would say the same. So
Oh, I'm so sorry.
it's okay.
Ah!
You're fine. So for me, I guess also when I'm stuck in my room, I don't like staying in my room for too long. So
No,
I'm
for sure.
known for always traveling and always doing something because I just
Yeah.
don't like sitting in space
Right,
for
can
too
I say
long.
something on that?
Oh God.
Okay, so our landlord,
Yeah.
he always comes to me. Yeah, Sophie, she's always busy. She's nowhere to be found. She's always busy. And it's like, yep, that's just Sophie.
It's kind of true.
You're known for
Yeah,
just
I am
going
known
on
for it.
random trips. Yeah, sorry.
And it's a good thing. I like doing it. I like being busy. It's not like it's. I mean, I do it sometimes a little too much, I guess. But it's because I don't. If I sit in my room, I'm trying to train that. But if I sit in my room for too long and I start to spiral, because my thoughts will start getting in, and those thoughts can also trigger my mood swings. So I would just take that thought in my head, and suddenly I would just feel
right.
really happy, or suddenly I feel really depressed, or I just really don't. I'm just like, oh, I just want to jump in front of a train right now. Should I actually do that? Oh no, consider it. And because that's how fast it can change.
Yes.
And then I'm like, okay, you need to get out of the house right now and go do something.
Yeah.
Because that can also help,
Yeah.
get out of it, which I will
Sure.
get on later. So staying in the house, boredom is something I can trigger. Also talking to people, being around people can trigger it. Abandonment issues, being ignored.
Oh yes.
Getting your thoughts about that. Yeah, so it is a lot people related, I would say.
Yeah.
Could you name like specific triggers with people that could trigger mood swings?
Yeah, sure. Sometimes when I'm very enthusiastic about something and they respond in a very mild, very not really bothered kind of way, I can either shut down or switch from being really happy to either angry or more likely suicidal. Because I think, shit, I've done something wrong, or they're gonna leave me, or something happening, something bad. Another one is being ignored for a long time, and this one's very tricky because I am very aware that people have their own lives, and when I don't text someone back, it's either because I don't have the energy, or it's because I'm genuinely busy and I respond when I'll have the time. But when it's the other way around and I can't see inside their head, you know, I get triggered and I
Yeah.
think, I'm being ignored. Help! All the alarm bells start ringing, and it's full on war zone. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd
No, I
say
get that.
those things. Yeah,
Yeah.
you? What are your
Um.
specific
Oh,
ones?
you only mentioned like mood swings through text, didn't you?
What do you mean?
The triggers that you mentioned is what happens through text. I wonder how if because I get that as well,
Mm-hmm.
but I just noticed that. So I wonder if you also have examples in real life
In real life?
around people.
Okay, I'll have one.
Okay.
Um, yeah, again, FP stuff, favorite
Yeah.
person, but I have an example for that one as well. No, actually, no, I'm not going to expose that. No, if I'm enthusiastic to see my FP and my FP is unbothered by it, or I don't know, kind of brushes it off or something like that, I can go into shutdown is the wrong word. I'll go into avoidance mode and I'll think, then I'm triggered,
Yeah.
because I was happy to see this person. I must have done something wrong for them not to feel the same feelings, be happy to see me.
Yeah. So it must be you.
Exactly. I'm the problem. I'm always the problem.
Yeah.
I just don't know in what way or how.
Yeah. But that's how it feels. So,
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know how to fix it then,
yeah.
which is also no control. But yeah, what's your turn? What
Okay. Okay.
are your triggers?
And when I'm around people and people just seem like they don't want to be around me, or like I sometimes feel like they just want to like leave or
Yeah,
like not be where I am at, and like I
for
guess
sure.
no one likes me anymore, and no one wants to be around me, so I should
This is
probably just
true.
not be alive right now.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's the example. So yeah, the same thing with text, I guess, as you said, what you said. The trigger, or people don't react for a long time,
Yeah.
or people react in a cold way, or even when they react in a really happy way, they can also make my mood swing, feel really
Fake?
happy. When people
Oh,
react in a happy, intense
right.
way, I can also just go, my mood
That's
can
a good
also
one,
go really
actually.
up.
That's a good one. Yeah.
When I'm around people, and when I'm in big groups, sometimes I feel
Very
really
low.
happy if I'm with the right people, and
Sorry, yeah.
or just with my own people.
Mm.
But it can also switch really fast if it's a really too big group and I'm
Yeah.
overwhelmed, or when I'm a little bit quiet and I don't really feel like I fit in.
Right.
It can also just change. So I'll go from happy to just feeling really out of place, and my mood swings can also just go to feeling suicidal
Yeah.
really fast. Which is a trigger, but as well as we know, those if you leave those triggers, and sometimes they can also fade really fast.
True.
So,
Definitely.
but you never really know when they will fade. Sometimes because when you're in the moment, it
feels
doesn't feel like it's gonna
exactly.
go away.
It feels never
Yeah,
ending.
it feels never ending.
Yeah.
And I feel for almost all those emotions, it feels like that.
Yes.
I have another question.
Shoot.
So sometimes we get these euphoric episodes.
Yeah.
And what happens where you realize that you're in one? And what's the aftermath of that?
Bad.
Yeah.
Usually I'm in a euphoric episode when either I get very positive attention from my FP, or I did something great. That's what happened, by the way, in the bus, or well, when I was finishing up that group project, because I was feeling pumped up. I was feeling amazing, and then suddenly it just sort of crashes, and it flips, and the moment I realize I'm in a euphoric episode, which happens really fast, by the way, I'm way too self-aware for my own good. I start to think about all the things that can go wrong and all the things that will go wrong. and then I start to think about the feeling that I'm gonna feel, how I'm gonna feel in about 10 minutes, and then I start to think, oh, wait, there's gonna be some very bad triggers, or there's at least gonna be some very bad feelings. Like I said, it's bad because the moment it flips, the moment I start to think about the consequences and the future, basically, I I can't read the future, of course, but I see the future.
Yeah. Start to imagine it,
But
think about it. Yeah.
but I can, you know, base my thoughts
Yeah.
and, well, in something. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In any case, I can estimate pretty accurately what I'll be feeling after my euphoric episode, and then suddenly, if your euphoric episode is gone, and I'm left with all the negative emotions known to
Yeah, you
man,
just crash.
it's a crash.
Just like
It's
with
like,
drugs, I guess.
yeah,
You
it's
crash.
like a drug or a sugar crash.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you feel great, and then you start to overthink about all the things that can go wrong and that will go wrong, and then boom,
Yeah.
you're at the bottom of the
Yeah.
great, yeah.
So that's the crash after the
Yeah.
euphoric episodes. So that's always really nice.
But I agree with you though, because like you said something very interesting, which I hadn't thought about yet, which was that if it doesn't necessarily have to happen from something positive to something negative, it can also happen the other way around. Um, because you're right, my mood can switch from suicidal to suddenly being happy and feeling fine and content, and it that also doesn't have to happen because of something. But yeah,
No, I get that.
what?
I have the same. Also, something that I experience is that my mood can change between feeling suicidal to feeling euphoric, up and down, that I cannot even tell the difference between them. Because I'm just so careless in those moments. Also, when I'm euphoric, I just feel like I can do anything. I don't really care what happens. I'm living in the moment. When I'm suicidal, I feel the same way in a way.
Yeah,
So
fair.
partly connected, and they go up and down, and
No, that's a good
that's
point,
a
actually.
crazy
Yeah.
thing to feel. Yeah.
What's the hardest thing for you to deal with regarding mood swings?
The fact that they're so unpredictable. You can't predict them. You don't know when they're going to come. You don't know what's next. You don't know how intense they will be. It can be hard to get out of them. I think there's some things you could do to get out of them a bit more, but it's really hard sometimes to get out of them. The crash after the euphoric episodes is also really hard.
For sure.
Yeah, just unpredictability, I guess. And just the fact that that can happen so fast and that you don't always have control over them. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Definitely.
Next question?
Next question.
Okay. Let me see what we got. How do our mood swings affect others?
Ooh, I like this one. Yes. Okay, so no, you start first.
I asked you. Let's go.
Yes, fair enough. But I've had the. Okay, fine. Yes, man. I usually mask. So what that means, I hide behind mask, and I try really hard not to let my mood and my thoughts affect others, because I think it's my responsibility to deal with them. It's my responsibility to make sure others aren't negatively impacted by them, because that's not fair on others, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's my job, because it's I know what you're gonna say. Don't worry. This is how I feel. Rationally, I know, especially in friendships, it's important to help each other. But personally, that's how I feel about myself.
No, I know.
And
We've been through
yeah,
this.
we've been through this. But that wasn't exactly a question. Mood swings can affect others in the sense that sometimes they're very unpredictable. So we don't know what the hell is going on. How can they other, you know? And sometimes people can get very confused because one moment we're happy and we're singing along and playing along, and it's this sudden shift to either, okay, this person doesn't want to live anymore, or this person is suddenly mad at me. What did I do? And then you didn't do anything, but it's still happening, and I think it affects people. Yeah, basically in the sense that can't they don't really understand what's
it's
happening.
confusing to people.
Yeah, exactly. But it can also be, it can have a positive aspect to it.
Yeah.
Because when we're happy, when I'm happy, I have heard from others that I'm very, I make others people happy.
Yeah.
And I can be quite loud and funny, according to others. This is not my own words, but yeah, people can get it. I can cheer people up when I'm feeling euphoric.
Yeah.
I can do that anyways, even when I'm suicidal. But that's beside the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now it's your turn.
Yeah, and when you're euphoric, it probably feels even better, I guess, because it keeps adding up to the
exactly, feeling. And it's like you're gonna feel like you're exploding.
It does really feel like that. Like I can't manage just the euphoric feeling; it's so intense.
Exactly, it's like needs to get out.
Yeah. How they affect others? So we're both people that keep our emotions inside. So for us, it's not. For people around us, it's not really visible. No, and I think there are people that have emotions that are really visible. So that could affect others, I think, because emotions in a way can also be, you can feel it in energy sometimes, I guess. In the,
I know what you mean. Yeah, definitely.
So I think for other people, it might be different. And in our experience, people don't notice it that fast. I think people around me could also notice it in certain ways. For example, I have the same that when I'm euphoric, I get all these ideas and I get all these energy, and I just feel so confident, and I can talk to everyone, and I get all these ideas, and I'll text people and I'll call people and I'll just be telling all this stuff and get excited to do all these things. And I have a few friends who also know that I'll crash after that when I'm really feeling like that. So I have that, and when I'm in a depressive episode, I most of the time hide away, or I'll hopefully get myself out of bed and just go do something, and I'll shut myself out from everyone else. So I won't really talk about it a lot. People might notice it that way.
Yeah.
But I most of the time I keep it inside. So I might get quieter when I'm feeling, in a more depressive episode. So if I get quiet, I keep more things inside, and I go to the sidelines, shut people out a bit, it's likely that my mood switched and I'm not feeling great anymore.
Yeah.
But I can switch again at parties. Sometimes I'll just be suddenly euphoric and I'll be feeling depressed a bit. And sometimes at parties I'll just literally leave the party because I'm just not feeling it anymore. I'm just like, I don't really get the point of anything anymore right now.
Yeah.
And I probably just got triggered. I get triggered at parties a lot. But I still tend to go. Because there's always groups at parties, always groups of people, and when I don't always fit in, that's a really big trigger for my mood swings.
Yeah.
There's so much happening, and there's so many thoughts going around, and so many energies and certain things. So that's just a lot, I guess. So and when I do, fit in with people, I can get so excited and so euphoric when I'm like the life of the party. So it changes.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
So I don't think that mood swings affect others
that
drastically.
Right.
But they might notice it a bit. I might get a bit confused sometimes because suddenly I'm quiet. But then it's probably just a mood swing.
What can others do to help in those moments?
So when I'm euphoric, I think it's nice to have people just go in with me, be there with me a little bit, be excited with me, but also be like,
be realistic,
aware, be realistic and be aware. Enjoy it a bit because it can be nice, but don't do things too drastic. Don't go over it. Don't do don't be too crazy
Don't do drugs.
or whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
And just enjoy it with me a bit, but also be realistic with me and be like, what happens after this and how you're gonna, check up on me after that, because I might go into the depressive episode again.
Probably. Sorry.
Probably, yeah. It happens almost all the time. And when I'm in a depressive episode, it's sometimes really hard to have people there. So I'll just shut myself out and I'll just go do things for myself, because I just don't feel like anyone wants to be around me, and I get insecure and stuff. Sometimes I don't really care, which is also a thing, but there are a lot of different things you could still feel while being in a depressive episode. Sometimes you care about things a lot.
Definitely.
What makes you depressed? Sometimes you care about nothing at all. What makes you depressed?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's nice to have people there, people to get me out of the house, or to get me to do things. Or sometimes it's nice to just have someone there, just have someone be there with you to go through those emotions.
No, I agree.
To know just that you're just not alone. That someone is still willing to be there with you,
even
though, if you're going through all that.
Yeah.
Because in those moments, you don't really, sometimes it doesn't feel like you're worth anything anymore. And it can help to have the right people there with you.
Yeah. Unconditional
Yeah.
love.
So I think that. And what about you? What would help you? What helps you? What could help other people help you?
I recognize a lot what you're saying. I tend to self-isolate. I take it a step further, where only the very few people who are very close to me can sometimes notice something.
Yeah.
That I get a bit quieter, a little bit more quiet. But overall, I tend not to let people notice. What can help is, if I do mention it, that they say, well, regardless, I'm here. That tends to help.
Yeah.
Because there's this constant societal pressure that you have to be nice, you have to be energetic, it's
happy and okay. And
exactly.
Yeah.
And then, especially in the company of others, you have to, be nice to hang around with,
Yeah.
But when you're in a mood swing, that's difficult.
Yeah.
So it helps when people say, well, I'm here for you regardless, and there's no pressure to be anyone who you're not.
Just let those feelings be. It's okay that they're there.
Exactly. Sometimes.
But also, you should not push them away all the time. Like, sometimes you can try to get out of them, but I think you should also just sometimes go through the waves and accept that they're there. In a way.
People? Or...
No, the feelings.
Oh,
no,
right.
not the people. The
feelings.
I
was going to say, no, for sure. No, the feelings, I know they'll pass.
Yeah. But not always, no.
With anger, it's very difficult, but usually I know they'll pass.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't like people helping me. It's easier to do everything on your own. Well, sometimes it isn't, but in most cases, I've learned that doing it by yourself is very low risk of getting a wrong response or something.
Yeah.
And what helps me, understanding, give me space when I need it, but be there when I need it. I usually don't want to talk about it, but it's nice to have some company. Yeah. No, I agree with that one.
I get that.
I'm gonna expose myself here. Here we go. In general, I'm not a physical contact type of person, like at all. Don't touch me. But there are a very select few individuals who I'd like to be physically close with, especially when I'm struggling or when I'm feeling very euphoric, because then I want to share the euphoricness or something with others, and then it's nice to be physically close. But yeah, that can also help.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I feel that too with people when I'm either euphoric or either when I'm in a depressive episode.
Yeah.
Depends on the kind of depressive
Oh,
episode.
definitely. Sometimes I just want to be left
Yeah,
alone.
just stay away. Don't touch me.
Yeah. Don't touch me.
No.
Nope. I'm not gonna say it. Sorry. Yep. Go on.
So yeah, I think
No, I
that,
agree for sure.
yeah, but I guess yeah, I know it's also really hard to ask for help in those mood swings. Of course, surely when you're not don't know how people will react,
Yeah.
and it's also good to stay with people that you know will react okay, and even then it can still be hard to tell them.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. I
yeah.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of a journey and something
Mm.
that should be talked about more in general.
Mm.
I think that's important.
What do you think can help people understand? How would you? No. All right.
What would I
Please
say to the people
No,
that have
how,
friends who have mood swings?
no. How could we best explain to people who don't understand it so that they may help others who do experience it in their life?
Yeah.
Who
So
know people
yeah,
who, no.
so mood swings are kind of scary. They're really scary. They're unpredictable. You
Oh,
feel like
definitely.
they're never going to end. Sometimes,
Yeah.
Sometimes you realize that they will end, but it doesn't really feel like that. Yeah. So it's mostly just scary, and they're real, and they're things that we feel, and we're feeling them. So maybe it's not real to you, maybe it doesn't make sense to you, but they're still what we feel, and feelings are there to be
Yes.
felt, and they deserve to be seen by people. You know. So I think
freaking
it's
man.
just
Yep.
try. You don't have to understand it. Just let
try
us
to.
feel our feelings,
Yeah. I
and
agree.
you know, if you have friends who struggle with mood swings really badly, just be there with them when they
Yeah.
go through it, because
Agreed.
that's
You don't even have to understand it. It's just
just be there.
yeah, just be
Or
there.
listen if they
Agreed.
need it. So people don't
If they do want
want
to
to talk about it. Yeah, but
No,
it
I
depends on
agree.
the person.
Definitely. Yeah.
So mostly that, and
Yeah.
and the question: how could you help yourself reduce your mood swings? So
Kill
when you're-
myself. Oh,
we're not going to do that. We're not doing that. It's not an option.
I take that back. That was a okay. So hear me out. What can help me is it's something I try to do already, and sometimes it works. Most of the time it doesn't. Is I try to rationalize and try. I'm overly analytical, so whenever there's a situation where I'm feeling like poo-poo, I tend to look at the situation, take a step back. Okay, what's going on? Why am I feeling like this? Where is this coming from? That sometimes helps because it can put things into perspective. And especially if I'm triggered by another person, I can think, okay, this is where I'm coming from. This is most likely where the other person is coming from. Just purely looking at the facts, then try to see what middle ground there is, and then usually there's the the best solution is usually to take a little bit of distance, mostly just to regulate your emotions and wait a bit before they they lose their intensity.
I get that. So pretty much try to create a vision of where they're coming from and why they're there,
exactly,
and all that, and make sense of them. So if you make sense of them and you get an explanation,
yes, exactly,
then it's easier to like figure out what's
and,
real and what's fact and what makes sense and stuff. But imagine it's in some situations you can't place where it's coming from, or the emotional regulation does not work in that way. What would you do then? Are there things that you could do for yourself?
I'm gonna have to think about this one.
Okay, should I go first?
Yes, please go for it.
Okay, so
I'm just gonna stand up real quick because my ass is.
I get that we're sitting on the hardcore here.
We're sitting on ice.
We are. It's worth it.
Worth it, definitely.
So what I do to regulate, I guess, my emotions. So when I have mood swings, also try to give them a place to figure out that's your train ticket. Oh my god, you actually have it. course you do.
All right, go on. Keep going.
Okay, we're going back. So I try to give my emotions a place, try to figure out where they're coming from, try to see if they're realistic, if they, if it's fair that they're there, or if it's actually, if my emotions are just going crazy for no
Haywire,
reason.
yeah.
If they're going haywire, it's just creating a party in my head. Which
Great
does not feel like
parties,
that. It's yeah. Because that's sometimes help, but sometimes when it doesn't help, I most of the time try to distract myself. So I'll do something active. I'll go outside. I'll go into nature. I'll talk to some people about other things. I'll try to focus on a project. Just putting my focus on anything else. Or writing music. So actually with music, I go into my emotions entirely. So I'll make myself feel it and see where it's coming from. So either really getting into it, and feeling them, which is really hard sometimes, and sometimes I don't want to do that, or I'll distract myself. So and I'll when I go outside, for example, my mind opens up, and I realize there's so much more than just those emotions. There's so much more to the world.
Yeah.
So that'll make me feel a little bit lighter, and it'll make things feel a little bit easier.
I like that.
Yeah. So
that's a good one, actually. In that case, I think I have my answer. I agree. It's distraction. Sometimes it's good to really sit in those emotions and ride the wave, because there's always a point where it loses intensity. It can't go on forever. That's just not possible. So, but the difficult thing is you have to actually get to that point before you can, just lose it again. But I'd say distraction, because it sometimes feeling and sitting with an emotion or a mood swing can feel so utterly consuming. And with me, it's especially rage, where it can feel like I have to destroy everything.
Yeah.
I can't stop.
Yeah.
And then distraction is good, because that'll help. First off, it'll help relevate it. And secondly, it can just take the edge off. And afterwards, I can deal with it again.
Yeah.
But
it's a little bit lighter, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, okay, this is where it's coming from. Sorry, yeah. This is where it's coming from. I can do this to fix it.
Yeah.
It's usually powerlessness.
Yeah. Something just have to let pass, and sometimes they'll pass while you're being active and while you're doing something.
Exactly.
Yeah. A lot of people also, what helps them is just really being active and really making your body just move, I guess. It's also with dancing. Dancing lets out emotions, or just running, or whatever. So people do that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I sometimes, when I'm no, I'm not going to expose this person, but there's been a moment where I felt pretty rejected, I guess, and I just started gymming. Well, I started exercising, and it helped.
Yeah.
I could really lose my energy in this.
Yeah. That's a good one. Losing your energy in something.
Exactly. It's transferring your energy from yourself to something else.
Exactly.
So but
okay.
I think that's it for this episode.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's a good talk.
Brilliant. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. That's a good one. Right. I hope you guys enjoyed. We certainly enjoyed this beautiful scenery.
The sun is already down now, so
amazing. I'm gonna take a picture in a bit. Enjoy.
And we'll see you next week.
Okay. Beans!